What's going on, guys? We are back with another video here today. We got a small little fabrication job on Trichilo's 3rd gen. You can find him on Instagram, Black Nasty. This truck's, it's black and it's nasty. So anyway, guys, I'm not gonna talk anymore. First things first is I'm gonna show you guys kind of what we have to do to the truck, why we're doing it, and then we're gonna get right into it. Again, it's a pretty small job, so this should be a pretty quick video. All right, guys, so this is the truck here. It just got all the intercooler piping and everything done by Joy Designs here, Travis Joy. He sells like hood stacks and coolant tubes and stuff like that. He kind of does a bit of stuff that we do. We work with him quite a bit, so obviously he does very, very good work. I actually welded this velocity stack on for him a couple weeks ago. I didn't put that in the video, obviously, because it's really quick. But anyway, he did the coolant tube, but Pat ended up changing some belt routing, so the coolant tube's pretty close. It's hitting the belt. Now it's hitting the belt. So anyway, basically what we're gonna do is refab this side of the coolant tube so that it fits properly and doesn't hit the belt and everything. So yeah, first things first is I'm gonna get this thing lined up with our plastic protectant and so I don't scratch anything. And then I'm gonna pull this coolant tube off, cut it here, and then I actually designed the other day, had over here, I designed one of these plates, which is gonna go right where the factory thermostat housing, it looks like this, except your factory one won't have this bung on it. But anyway, that's that, and then I'm going to weld the tube off like this, and then from there, like this, so then we'll go straight and connect into right around here somewhere. So theoretically, it's gonna come up like this, then it's gonna 90, and then it's just gonna go straight and connect right here. Really easy, really simple. And then the other thing we're gonna do is get rid of this fleece bypass spacer, and then we're actually just gonna weld a -10 bung to this, basically just making our own thermostat housing so that he can get rid of that spacer. So anyway, guys, without further ado, I'm gonna shut up because I know you guys don't wanna hear me talk, and I'm gonna get right into it. All right, guys, we just got the coolant tube off, so I'm gonna kind of show you guys what we're working with and what I plan on doing. All right, guys, so this is pretty simple. I mean, obviously there's not much to it. Just pull the coolant tube off. This is the fleece bypass spacer. Pull the thermostat out. So basically what we're gonna do is, anyway, we're gonna take this coolant tube here and basically we're just gonna hold it up here. We're gonna cut it somewhere right around here, and then we're going to use our piece that we designed over here to adapt to the head, and then we're going to actually get rid of that bypass spacer as well. So that should drop in there like so, right? And then we will grab one of these, and we should be looking at something along the lines of this. Obviously, I'll probably drop that down a little bit lower, but basically the goal is to come up and then this way and connect straight into that coolant tube. So I'm going to kind of probably put that coolant tube back on after I put a cut like right here. I'll cut it right there, and then we'll pretty much be able to set this on there with it cut right around here, and then we just have to basically run our tube from there up over to here so it doesn't hit the belt. So otherwise, guys, that's it's pretty simple, easy little setup, so it's not going to take me very long. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut put on there and probably just go ahead right in and start cutting and tacking stuff. Once it's all tacked up, I'll kind of show you guys what we have going on. Alright guys, so we just cut the cool tube that was on there, and basically what I did was just tacked on about 8 inches just so I can kind of get the height right for this. So that should pop into there like so. Like that. But it's a little bit too high, so I gotta trim. Basically, I'm gonna trim some off of this. But I kind of just wanted to give you guys an idea because I first held this up and I could tell it was high, but I couldn't tell really how much to take off, so that's why I added this first, and I added a little bit extra, so if I need to trim it down I can. But basically we're just going to get this pipe right here level and then cut this down until it fits perfectly and it's nice and level. So yeah, stay tuned guys, I'll show you guys that, and then we'll get it all tacked up, show you guys how that sits tacked up, and then we got to just drill a hole for a -10 bung. We'll weld that on and then we'll weld it all up. I'll show you guys all that. Guys, we got that all tacked up. As you can see, the only thing I have to tack is just this piece to the actual flange, and then I just got to drill the hole for the -10 bung so we can run that right to it. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I might cut this right here and add a boot in. It's gonna be, basically, we only have one boot here, so with this being solid, guys, when the engine's under load, it's gonna move a little bit, and the radiator, intercooler, all that is not going to move. So we need to make sure we have enough flex so we don't tear a boot. I don't think the pipe will break, but maybe break the pipe or crack a weld or break the radiator. I'm going to pretty much just weld it all up, and then I'm going to see kind of how much movement's in it. He does have factory motor mounts. If he had solid or semi-solid motor mounts, I'd probably definitely not cut it, but I'm going to talk to him and see what he wants to do. But we just want to make sure we have enough flex when the engine's in here moving around. But it looks really, really good. So I'm just gonna mark that, tack this pipe to the flange, and then I'll show you guys that on the bench. And then we're gonna hook up the back purge and everything, and then we're actually gonna weld all the seams, and this thing will be done. And then we can figure out if we're gonna cut it and put another boot here or what. So yeah. Alright guys, we got the tube on the bench here. I'm kind of just going to show you guys how I have this set up before I start welding it. Basically, have our purge plug right up in here. We're basically just going to run about 7 CFH of argon through the inside of the tube. Basically, when you use stainless, you have to do that, or else the inside of the weld will sugar. It'll make it weaker and it will rust from the inside out. So obviously, we don't want that. So we have a plug on this side, and then over here, basically I had another flange, same flange as this, and then I cut out a piece of stainless steel, welded it from the other side, flipped it up, and then I basically bolted that to there. So that basically acts as a purge plug, and then on top of that, it also will help not let this flange warp once we put some heat on it and go to weld it, because we don't want it warped, cause a cold leak later. So anyway guys, that's how it's set up. I'm gonna go through, basically acetone wipe this so it's perfectly clean and there's no fingerprints or anything on it. And then we're gonna go ahead and weld all the seams and put it back on the truck. All right, guys, we just finished welding up the coolant tube, bolted it all up just to make sure fitment was good. It is. I did just talk to Pat, who's the owner of the truck, and I kind of told him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna weld this up. After I weld it, I'm gonna see how sturdy it is. I would like to not run a boot just because it looks so good, and he agreed. But after I put it on there all welded up, guys, it's like, I can move his whole truck, and this thing doesn't move, so once this thing's actually running and the engine's moving, something's bound to break. I don't know if it would be the pipe or if it would be the radiator or the boot. But sadly, we're gonna have to cut this right here. And then basically, we're gonna have, I'm gonna cut it right here, and then this is a cut boot, but there's gonna be a boot there, and we'll probably just take like 3/8 of an inch out and clamp that up just so he has a little bit of extra flex. Didn't want to put a clamp, or didn't want to put a boot and clamps there. It takes away from the looks, but at the end of the day, you got to build stuff that's going to be reliable, not just look good and break. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, cut that, and then we'll put it back together for final assembly with the thermostat, and soon we'll be good to go. All right, guys, we got the coolant tube on. It's all good to go. And now, as you can see, we have a boot here, which actually doesn't look as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was gonna take away from the whole look, but it doesn't look too bad. So now we have, see how we have that flex? That's exactly what we're looking for. So when this engine's moving around, guys, it's not gonna rip boots and break radiators and shit. So we're nice and far away from the dual CP3 pulley and the belt. We have about 3/4 of an inch, so that's absolutely way more than enough. So we're not gonna have to worry about anything hitting. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm going to put the bumper back on, top it off with coolant, and make sure everything else is good, and send it out the door. So anyway, guys, short video. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.